Black Death, White Wealth. The Black Death of 1450 was one of the deadliest pandemics in human history, wiping out an estimated 75 to 200 million people in Eurasia, including over 25 million in Europe alone. The disease was caused by the bacterium Yersinia pestis, which was primarily spread by fleas that infested rats. The Black Death had a devastating impact on people's lives, but for a few shrewd individuals, it proved to be an opportunity to become wealthy. One such individual was a wealthy merchant named Giovanni. He was initially devastated by the loss of his entire family to the plague, but he soon realized that the high mortality rate had created a sudden demand for labor. He began hiring peasants who had lost their homes and families to the plague, and soon amassed a large workforce. With this labor force, Giovanni was able to expand his business operations and increase his profits. Another person who benefited from the Black Death was a physician named Francesco. During the height of the pandemic, he noticed that his fellow physicians were dying at an alarming rate due to their close contact with infected patients. He realized that he could profit from this by avoiding direct contact with patients and instead selling advice to other physicians on how to protect themselves. Francesco's business quickly took off, and he became one of the wealthiest physicians in the region. A third person who profited from the Black Death was a local lord named Marco. As the death toll mounted, Marco began buying up land and property from desperate survivors who were willing to sell at rock-bottom prices. Marco was able to acquire vast tracts of land and numerous properties for a fraction of their actual value. He also took advantage of the fact that many people had died without heirs, and he claimed their assets for himself. As the pandemic subsided, these individuals found themselves in a vastly improved financial position. They had all capitalized on the sudden demand for labor, medical expertise, and land ownership created by the Black Death. Of course, it is worth noting that their success came at a great cost, and the pandemic had a devastating impact on the lives of millions of others who were not so fortunate. Brother Oran Z.